that's a question I'm going to answer in 3 parts. I'm going to start at the beginning. Normally, a lot of people, although it's not compulsory, I want to stress very much, it's not compulsory to be a member of the Orania movement to come and live here. But the logical process for a lot of people is to join the Orania movement as a donating member and then start with the verblijfsrecht or right to residency process. But it's not needed, and you don't have to do it. It's just, as I said, a logical step for a lot of people. Secondly, people go through the process. The process has got 2 parts. One is the right to residency. The other one is just the basic town orientation. And the right to residency works as follows. The goal is to keep it a culture-oriented town. Remember, in an era where Afrikaners is vividly accused of being racist on the basis of the skin color and things like that, Orania is not a community that says we are a white community. We are an Afrikaner community, which means if you're a Russian or a Pole or a Hungarian or whatever, and you want to come and live here because you think it's a community and you qualify because you're white, that's not the case. Orania is an Afrikaner community, and people who want to live here needs to be culturally integrated into the community. I think it has happened. There has been people from European countries that really went above and beyond to integrate into Afrikaner culture. It has happened, but in the end, you know, the verblijfsrecht committee, their work is to make sure Orania stays a cultural community. There's other things that's important to us, such as religion, such as culture, such as language. So then you go through that process. That's firstly an administrative process. We do a criminal background check, and if you had a parking ticket in 1982 and you have a criminal record for that, I mean, obviously it's not going to disqualify you, but if you want it for murder or rape or massive drug trade or something like that 2 weeks ago and there's still a court notice in your name, we're not going to grant you that right. Then you go through a process, the administrative process in terms of are you aligned with our vision, or are you just coming for the benefits of Orania? I mean, you can't really test that, but we want people to know we're culturally inclined, we're proud of our history, our religion, and so on and so on. And do you associate yourself with this? And I always say the following. In moving to Orania, in going through this process, there's 3 role players, right? The first is the person that's moving here. Do you actually want to live in Orania? Do you align yourself with our vision? If you do, I mean, or let's say if you don't, no one can force you to come and live in Orania, and you should not. Oh, well, there's some people who've tested our process, which were not aligned at all, and then we just sent them the letter, you know, go through the process if you want to. But if you truly want to live here and you're truly aligned with the vision, you're the first role player. The second one is the administrative process in terms of the interview. There's a small interview, and you fill in some forms and so on. And the third is the community. The community always has a say. I mean, a community can make you feel welcome or unwelcome. I mean, that's the point. But for the rest, you go through that process. You speak to normal, everyday man on the street, people from Orania, a small committee that's formed to make sure you're aligned with everything. And when you go through that, there's an orientation of 2 days, telling you the political history of Orania, why the idea of own labor is so important, how does things work, how does safety work, how does rubbish removal work, how does basic municipal service delivery work, and so on and so on. And then you move here and you start your business or whatever you want to do. So that's basically the process in a very, very short explanation about that.
So just to be clear, a black person or a colored person or an Indian can join Orania as long as he is an Afrikaner or he is willing to embrace what it is to be an Afrikaner.
No, that's a complicated question which one cannot expect a simple answer for. I think if I try to simplify the answer, anyone can apply to live in Orania. But we must remember that culture is not only a language, it's not only one aspect of the entire culture, right? So I've never. Let me give you a good example. Orania's got a agreement, a memorandum of understanding with the Xhosa community, Mnyameni in the Eastern Cape. And what happened there is they want to be less sufficient on the government, on the ANC. They want to be more self-sufficient and so on. It's a totally Xhosa community, 100% Xhosa community. I enjoy going there. I enjoy liaising with them. Wonderful people, very much driven in terms of self-determination, very positive. They've learned a lot of things from Orania in terms of our banking system and things like that we use. I've never wanted to go and live there myself. Firstly, I don't want to go through their initiation processes. There's a lot of things I can't speak Xhosa, and I am not a Xhosa. I think it would not be justified for me to go and live there because I am not a Xhosa. So I think that's the answer to some extent, right? So there have been black people or people from different countries, Europeans, white Europeans, that wanted to apply to live in Orania, and all of them are treated the same way. They sent we send them the application forms for the right to live here. And they can go through the process and in good faith explain their case to the committee. But in the end, as I said, being an Afrikaner is something with historical connections, with a shared history, and so on and so on.